Welcome back to Gentle Herb Living. Glad you're here. If you're tired of sweating over steaming hot compost piles, turning heaps with a fork every few days, and stressing about keeping the perfect temperature, you're not alone. Hot composting can be effective, but it's labor-intensive and not always realistic for smaller gardens or busy lives. Today, I'll show you how to master a cold composting method that skips the hassle while still producing rich, stable humus faster than you'd expect. This is a simple, low-maintenance approach that puts biology to work for you, not the other way around. The reason cold composting is so powerful is because it doesn't rely on high heat to break materials down. Instead, it leans on the natural ecosystem of fungi, bacteria, and earthworms to transform waste into humus. The result is compost that's teeming with life, ready to strengthen your soil in ways that hot compost often can't match. By following a few intentional steps, you can set up a system that works quietly in the background, delivering fertility while you focus on growing. The first step is choosing your location and container. A cold compost system needs protection from blazing sun and heavy flooding rains, so pick a spot that drains well but stays moist. You can use a wooden frame, a plastic bin, a trench in the soil, or even a quiet corner of your garden bed. The important thing is keeping it contained, layered and sheltered, so microbes and worms have the right conditions to thrive. Next, you'll want to prepare your materials. Cold composting works best when you balance carbon-rich browns with nitrogen-rich greens. Browns can be shredded cardboard, straw, dried leaves or small twigs, while greens include kitchen scraps, fresh clippings, and soft prunings. The smaller the pieces, the faster they decompose, so chop or shred whenever possible. Skip the meat, dairy, and oily foods. They only invite pests and slow down the process. With your materials ready, you'll want to begin layering with intention. Start with a coarse layer of straw or twigs to create airflow, then alternate between greens and browns. After every couple of layers, just sprinkle a handful of garden soil, worm castings, or finished compost. This acts as a microbial inoculant, seeding your pile with the decomposers that speed up the breakdown. Think of it as charging your compost with life from the start, rather than waiting for it to appear. Once the pile is built, it's time to moisten and cover. Water each layer as you go until the material feels like a wrung-out sponge, damp but not dripping. To accelerate things, pour over a diluted compost tea or manure tea, which, floods the system with active microbes. Cover the pile with cardboard, burlap, or a tarp. This holds in the moisture, prevents nutrient loss from rain, and creates a darker, more stable environment where decomposers can work. One of the best things you can do to speed up cold composting is encourage worms and fungi. Earthworms are natural shredders and mixers, turning scraps into humus with incredible efficiency. Fungi, meanwhile, break down tougher carbon like woody stems and turn it into long-lasting organic matter. To invite them in, sprinkle a little finished compost, toss in some wood chips, and keep the pile shaded and moist. Unlike hot compost, you won't be turning this pile every week. A cold system thrives with patience. Check the moisture once a month and add water or dry browns if needed. If you smell a foul odor, gently loosen the top layer to let in air and balance with more carbon material. Within 3 to 6 months in warm weather, or closer to a year in cooler climates, your pile will transform into a dark, crumbly, sweet-smelling humus. When it's ready, you can spread this humus over your garden beds, mix it into soil for transplants, or use it as a top dressing for containers. Unlike hot compost, which can sometimes burn tender roots if not fully cured cold, compost is gentle and microbe-rich, feeding your soil steadily over time. If you're ready to stop fighting with hot composting and want a simpler, more natural way to build humus, cold composting is your answer. It's less labor, more biology, and a system that works with the rhythms of nature. If this guide was useful, make sure to subscribe to Gentle Herb Living and share it with a fellow gardener who's still stuck turning piles. Together, we can spread the word about easier, smarter ways to build living soil.